Super Mario World is the fourth Super Mario game. This game was released in 1990 for the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Despite growing up with 3D Mario, I still enjoy this game, and this review will portray that. Overall, I thought this game was very fun. It also taught me patience and how to better edit these videos, as you can see on the screen with those beautiful new borders. I apologize for Luigi's Mansion video having the black bars, but as I continue to make these reviews, they will continue to get better and better. This was a launch title for this system, and I think it did an amazing job showing how well the SNES can handle graphics. I enjoy SNES graphics for how colorful and pretty they are. They also have amazing scaling capabilities. Like all my other videos before this, I will have timestamps and description for each segment. I will also be reviewing each area and giving my thoughts about them. There are a total of 9 areas in this game, with 2 of those being secret areas. I didn't even try to enter these stages or areas, so this review will be very casual since I didn't play the game seriously. This was also played on an emulator with save states. This wouldn't be a JosephQ773 review about my history and development segment, so with everything out of the way, on to the history of the game. This game, being a launch title, had much more liberty to do as it pleased than the last 3 Super Mario games. The team first ported Super Mario 3 to the SNES and went from there. New items needed to be added in, such as the cape, and gameplay elements from the last 3 games are also here. Super Mario World originally had a very different hub world, and some textures being ripped straight from Super Mario Bros. 3. This game, from looking at old footage, doesn't look too different from what we have today. Like Super Mario 64 though, the team did have to work on an entirely new console with new features they needed to program in, such as color palette and music samples. I cannot compare gameplay wise how similar this game is to Mario Bros. 3, since I've never played it, but the game feels like it's a perfected moveset of Mario 1. Unlike some other betas, I don't think this one's all too interesting. This is probably because I didn't grow up playing this, so I couldn't really care less what this game could have been. Besides not truly caring about this game's beta, it's interesting to think about the alternate timelines where the Mario series would be completely different if this game was just made a little bit differently. The basic plot of a Mario game shouldn't need an explanation, but I'm going to do it anyway. The princess is kidnapped. Save her. Now, to add to the classic Mario formula here, there's also Yoshi eggs that you need to save for you from each castle. Speaking of Yoshi, this is his first appearance, and he's pretty useful. You could ride him around stages, except ghost houses and castles. When you're hit with Yoshi, he just runs away and you can catch him. Sort of like the rings in Sonic, that's like the closest thing I can really compare this to. There's nothing extra to the plot of this game. You start at Yoshi's house with 2 branching paths to the left and the right. This area is called Yoshi's Island, and you can unlock a switch here. Now, these return to Mario 64, as you know if you watched the Super Mario 64 review I did. And please do, since the views for that video aren't looking too fine. Now, the areas for this game include Yoshi's Island, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, Twin Bridges, Forest of Illusion, Chocolate Island, and the Valley of Bowser. And there's 2 secret areas that are called Star World and Special Zone. These stages are really good, and I can't say much about the secret areas since I didn't play them. Each level is pretty fun and interesting and doesn't feel repetitive. I had a lot of fun playing them. The stage design is fun and challenging. It can provide hours of fun and hundreds of hours of replay value. This is a game I may replay after this review is finished since I enjoyed it that much. Before we get into this, I think it's best that we talk about how some new gameplay elements affect the game. One such as flip blocks, which don't break unless you use a spin jump. The spin jump is also a new movement, which completely changes the moveset. This movement doesn't jump as high, but it obliterates anything that comes in contact with it. The spin jump also interacts with power-ups. The fire flower will shoot fireballs out in both directions, and the new cape power-up will just spin around in both directions. The cape will be discussed in the Donut Plains section, and chances are you already know about it. With all that said, I think it's best we start with the first area, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is a great beginner area, I think. Technically, it has 2 first levels, and both of you teach you about different aspects of the game. The path on the left takes you to a more traditional Mario level, and completing it grants you the yellow switch blocks, which make the game a lot easier. The right path takes you to a stage with Yoshi, which I think is pretty fun. This area has 4 stages and 1 castle. The 4 stages here are really good, and are great intros for how the rest of the game will play, including underwater levels. The Sage Castle here is also a classic, and has the first boss of the game, Iggy. The boss isn't very hard, and I didn't need a single save state until this point in the game. Meaning I didn't use one here. I'm not that bad at the game. Overall, I enjoyed Yoshi's Island, and I think this is a very good starting level. Donut Plains is much of the same story. Now, since we're going in order, Donut Plains is the second area of the game that consists of 4 regular stages, a ghost house, and a castle. There's also multiple secret stages and a switch palace. I didn't even bother to get them. Donut Plains, I feel, is pretty similar to Yoshi's Island in difficulty. It's also not a horrible area. The levels here are fun and are not super challenging. I do really enjoy this area, and the fact that there are some secret levels here do make it very replayable. The Cape Feather is also here, which is an amazing power-up. Power-ups in this game are the regular Mario power-ups, like the mushroom, the fire flower, the 1-up, although one may not consider that a power-up, and this game's Cape Feather. The Cape Feather is a very cool power-up. I think it makes the game very unique. When you run and build up speed, you can fly across the map. It's a very useful power-up, and it's probably my favorite in the entire series, next to the propeller hat in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. There's also the first ghost house here. Ghost houses require you to solve some type of puzzle to leave them. Some of the puzzles make no sense, but others are comically easy. The castle in this area is pretty good. There are thwomps here and a room with moving platforms. Nothing is too difficult. The next area would take us into a cave called the Vanilla Dome. The Vanilla Dome is where I think the game gets a little bit harder. The few times I did play this game when I was younger, this is where I would stop. I didn't think this area was fun, and I always thought it was just a bit too hard. I didn't have as much trouble as I thought I would on this playthrough, but I never liked cave levels either, so maybe that's a reason why I wasn't fond of this area. But with all that out of the way, this is a pretty good area, I think. There are 4 main levels and a ghost house again, and 2 castles as well. I only went to the castle that's required to push the game along, and I didn't go to any of the secret stages here since I saw absolutely no need to do so. Overall, despite myself having an iffy pass through this stage, it's not that bad. Now that I'm better at playing video games in general, it's become a lot easier. Luckily, the next area will be taking us outside. So, I thought this area only had 2 stages, but since I refused to play secret stages, or even look for them, I didn't know there was like 4 more. The stages I did play were comically hard, and I had to use save states the entire time, as you can probably see this on the screen right now. Now I thought these stages were insanely hard, and I almost rage quitted, but then I remembered that I have deadlines to meet for these videos, and I sucked it up. This area is alright. I didn't enjoy the stages, so I'm not really the biggest fan. But the next area had me consult a guide, so take of that as what you will. This area is like the Lost Woods of Mario. This area wasn't really fun, but it also wasn't really bad. If you play the stages normally, you'll be stuck in a loop, which is fun, I guess, but I need to finish the game. So one of the stages, and now that I think about it, in all of them, there's a secret ending. And in these secret endings, you need to find a key and a keyhole to move on to the right path. This is the one time in a Mario side-scroller where I needed a guide, mostly because I just gave up looking. Other than that, the stages are pretty good and it leaves you one step closer to the end, which is always nice. I haven't mentioned the settings of these areas yet, but I like this one the most, especially the Wigglers. I remember my favorite world, and the one that I remember the most from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which has a ridiculously long name, was the purple goo-infested forest stages. I always liked that area, and it reminded me of that, so besides the fact that it's forcing you to find secrets, which kind of defeats the purpose of a secret, it's pretty good. The next world, I think, is a lot better. I finished it pretty quickly, and as you can see, the next section is going to go pretty quick as well. This is an interesting area. The first stage takes place outside of the Forest of Illusion, where there's a pipe cannon, and I think you need to sacrifice Yoshi to beat the level, which is alright, there's always more Yoshis. The stages here are not super hard, and honestly, I barely remember playing them besides the pipe level, and the Sunken Gosha level. More on that later. Monty Mole's also here, and I like Monty Mole, so this area is pretty good. Monty Mole's a great enemy, he's really cool, I like the name, Monty Mole. Might as well cut me off. Now this is a pretty badass stage, and I enjoy it a lot. This stage involves you navigating a ghost ship. The first part has you avoiding bullet bills, then you enter a warp pipe to enter like this more ghost house type style of a place, and you must avoid the moves fading in and out of existence. After this part, you must fall into a seemingly bottomless pit, which I thought had broken the game at first when it happened, but eventually you get to the bottom where you collect the magic ball. And after you collect it, the final area opens up, the Valley of Bowser. This stage is amazing, and this is a stage that stuck out to me, like just more than any other area in the game. It's very good on its own, and I would replay this. Amazing stage, and possibly my favorite 2D Mario level ever. The Valley of Bowser is the final area of the game. This area is pretty cool, and seeing Bowser off in the distance with his big castle, which says Bowser on the front, is pretty funny. You know, I guess Bowser needs to let everyone know whose castle it is, although he is the only big castle in this entire little real estate area. There's also a backdoor entrance to his castle via secret stages. Now, I didn't do that, but the idea of there's a backdoor entrance to the big bad guy's castle is funny. The backdoor entrance does skip the majority of the stage, and the front door entrance just has you go through 2 doors of your choosing. Each one varies in difficulty. I believe I chose 3 and 4 on my playthrough. The rest of the area is pretty great. The stages here are challenging, and get you ready for the ultimate stage. I enjoy this part of the game, and I think it's perfect. There are 5 stages here with a secret fortress. This stage works so well, this area works so well, and the final boss is even better. Now, the Bowser battle is amazing, I think. This fight is just perfect. It shows how well the SNES can handle scaling effects, and it's not particularly very hard. It also has the goated Koopa Clown car. This thing is amazing, I think it looks beautiful. Probably my favorite sprite in the game. It's a really good boss battle, and I had fun while playing it. This boss is an amazing way to finish off the game. I didn't think I'd enjoy this game, but I did enjoy it, and I consider it one of my favorite Mario games. This game just works so well. It has like an amazing movement system, and there's just beautiful visuals, and I think it's pretty timeless. If I had the time, I would play this game much more. It's a beautiful game. This is, when I think of a 2D Mario game, I'm going to think of Super Mario World and not Super Mario Bros. 1 or Super Mario Bros. Wii. This is what I'm thinking of now when I play a side-scrolling Mario game. In fact, almost any Mario game, I'm going to think of this and Mario 64. Well, you've heard it here first. I really do enjoy this game. It's amazing, I think, and if you like 2D games, please play this. It's really worth your time. Out of all the games I reviewed so far, I'd place this third, as you can see on the screen now at the other rankings of the game I played. Now, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna speak it out here. Okay, I'm gonna speak it out for you. The first will be, I'm doing this top of my head, Mario... Oh, I think I lied. It's gonna be Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask so far is the favorite game I have played that I reviewed. The second would be Super Mario 64. The third would be Super Mario World. And the fourth would be Luigi's Mansion. So that is the official listing of games. If you're listening to this like a phone in the pocket or in a different window, so you didn't have to, go back and listen. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching, but we also have the unscripted outro, which will be coming up any second now. You'll know when it starts. Hello, and thank you for watching a JosephQ773 review. This was Super Mario World, a game I really did enjoy near the end of it. I didn't think I'd enjoyed this game that much. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, do everything, share with your friends, make a community post about this, post it on Reddit. Doesn't matter to me. It could be for a good or a bad reason. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next review, which would be Beetle Adventure Racing on the Nintendo 64. See you guys then. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys then.